Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show. I'm joined here by an amazing drummer. Looking forward to seeing him tonight, Andrew Lessman. Welcome to the program.
Thanks.
Do you recall what inspired you originally? I mean, about Jared Madsen when you met him? Was it musical or was it more like the vibe of just the cat?
Definitely a unique vibe.
Unique is definitely the real deal.
Yeah, you know the twins. They're two of the most unique people I've ever met in my life. In high school when we were 13, but yeah, still very, very unique cats. And we, both kind of started playing around the same time, so we really learned how to play music together.
Can you just talk a little bit about, in your own existence, even though we're pretty immature at that age, I mean, were you seeking people that were off the grid, so to speak, musically? I mean, did you even know that, or did you just walk in and be like, wow, they play an instrument too, so we could, I mean, what I'm saying is, was it something you were searching for, or were you too even young to know that?
No, I think we just kind of connected.
Rhythmically? Musically?
Yeah, the vibe and our interest in music lined up. I was already, getting interested in jazz at the time. I grew up around jazz. My dad being a jazz musician who's still very active in San Diego.
Mark Lessman.
Mark Lessman.
Yeah. Your dad was a 6-night-a-week gigger.
Totally. Yeah.
That is sick. Can you talk about that how did it rub off on you? In terms of we're sitting outside, 103-degree heat, you got a 48-minute set, barely get off tonight, but yet you're playing music because of the love of the music. What did you learn from your dad about just sort of loyalty and passion, commitment to the music itself?
Well, I mean, yeah, you said it, loyalty and commitment and passion.
Right, intent, yeah.
He was playing at a different time when it was more common. You could find a 6-night-a-week type of gig down in San Diego, which he was doing all the time.
What was the venue, by the way? I just want to give recognition to the cats, the places that used to support the music.
I mean, I was like a little baby then, so I don't really know. I know he used to play at a place called the Albatross a lot.
Dude, I'd love to talk to him about the Funky Quarters. I don't know if that was before his time, but Cal Jader made a sick live album from there.
You should interview him.
I will interview him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll connect you guys.
Absolutely, man. But in terms of I just want you to talk about how the inspiration that you get from the music itself. I mean, to me, I drove up 2 hours, paid my older daughter to babysit, and I was like, because this is love. And I just want you to talk about your dedication, because
we don't want you to be disappointed.
Well, first of all,
we want to make it worth it.
It's
worth the drive.
you guys are already going to play over your. You're going to
as we always do.
You're going to bubble up. But would you want to be doing anything else?
There's other things I enjoy doing. Yeah, to be honest,
I dig. Life is not that. It's not. Music is not overly precious.
But music, is something that I couldn't not do. Really, it is kind of a sacred space when you're playing with other people. And that interchange. Four people, of course. Yeah.
And I feel like I try to take a fourth quarter, Chargers energy, fourth quarter defensive line, go to the bandstand, and try to take that quarterback down. We're going to sack the quarterback. Can you talk about the other experiences in terms of being a road dog in a band? Have you chosen that life at certain points in your existence?
I have at certain points.
Can you talk about one particular that stood out to you for whatever reason?
Well, we were kind of talking about Europe before we hit the camera button, and I definitely have to say that touring Europe compared to touring in America is a pretty mind-blowing experience for the American.
Break it down, because I'm channeling it all day.
You get to the gig, you load in and everything. A lot of places out there will have a beautiful family meal, where the promoter, the sound guy, the band, you're all sitting down, breaking bread, and eating usually really good food. And of course, financially they take care of musicians better than here.
Dude, the guy I was talking with today, he's like, the biggest pain in the ass is just filling out the paperwork for all the transportation and the hotels, but that stuff's all I'm just saying, like, it's so many of the jazzers, and I'm sure your dad, I mean, obviously, I mean, whether it was Johnny Griffin or Kluk or Lester Young, I mean, all those guys were like, there's racism everywhere, but we're going to move to a place where we're respected for our genius.
Yeah, a lot of those guys moved out to Norway and Denmark and stuff.
Oh, they were gone. Even Billy Cobham is a dear friend, I mean, can you talk about, like, in your own playing, like, I remember Michael Shreve is a good friend of mine from Santana. He talked about seeing Mahavishnu at the Fillmore or Winterland, or, Billy was just at the peak, and he was just, powerhouse, and, people were getting thrown up against the wall and stuff, and Michael's like, I'm never going to be that, so I have to be myself, okay? Did you have that kind of moment where you were, like, judging yourself or being, because the competitions and just comparing, is a natural habit we all have, no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there a definitive moment where you were like, I'm not going to be that, but I'm going to be Lessman?
I did put a lot of effort for a lot of years into being, as good as I can possibly be and get all the chops I could pick up and everything. The competitiveness to a lot of jazz is maybe kind of part of what pushed me into other things, because I've never been very competitive. I just want to make the music sound good.
I love it.
Yeah,
I freaking love it.
I'd gotten
you think
involved
that
in more
the jazz, in your
music.
generation, jazz community stands for facility? It was cutthroat back in the day, but it was more about, I mean, you get kicked off the bandstand if you couldn't play a shuffle. It wasn't about chops.
Should be able to play a good shuffle, though.
Absolutely, but I'm saying it was pretty cutthroat. I mean, Denny Seiwell from Wings.
But if you can't do super fast bludgeons against the shuffle, that's
So
debatable
it's
how
gotten to the
necessary
point now
that
where
is.
it's like a riffology course. It's just too much in the chop technique kind of thing.
I love that stuff. I don't want to denigrate any of it.
But when you say you
that's
got
just a personal thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
But so it's more comforting to be in a setting like you consider Jared Madsen sort of from the Duke Ellington school. It's all music, and then the subjective part is either it's good or bad, and that's why there's no fucking broing or wanking it.
Yeah. There's no wank fights in this.
Wank fights, dude. It's so many wank fights, dude.
It's
so many wanks.
You threw my
dude.
brain off course.
I love it. No, go there, dude. That's what the Jake Feinberg show does, dude.
No, yeah, I mean...
No, because what touches me is that your dad was this lifer in a family music. It was like a language of family. It wasn't I mean, Dizzy was brilliant, but he was brilliant because of all his themes and compositions. It wasn't riffology. It wasn't chops. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And you're saying, hey, you know what? I'm not into that scene anymore. And it pains me that jazz has become...
it's simple. I just like good music. And I want to do what it takes to make the music sound good, when we play it live. And, I think Jared writes really great music, and I love his new album. It's a big departure from the other stuff, and I think it's pretty well suited to what I do.
Why is that?
It's a little bit more like hard pocket kind of...
Damn, I'm going to really need an adjustment tonight.
A little bit less in the jazz.
I want that hi-hat going, bro. You'll
see it.
I want. Well, no, I mean, like.
Also,
do you have the ability? No, because I think you're going to get off tonight
yeah.
because I think that the challenge that Jake Feinberg's proposing you is being able to play with the box and still being able to break up time and form. Could be a challenge, but I think you guys have the ability and the heart to do it.
Well, that's the other thing that I feel pretty suited for, is that I've done a lot of playing with tracks live and in the studio and whatnot. So he really trusted me to be able to deal with that without doing any rehearsal beforehand. Just flew out, met him for my first date on this tour in New York, and we hit it. And right from the line check at the first gig, I was like, oh yeah, this feels good. Matthew on bass, like, we locked in right away.
My brother, the man, dude.
And it just
Matthew Ryan
felt like, this is not going to be a problem.
That's sick. So in terms of like Jared's leadership style, what would you say as a band leader? He's not Art Blakey, he's not an elder, but what does he Does he allow you just to be yourself, basically?
Yeah, and if it conflicts in any way with the music, he'll tell you.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. You're right, straight ahead.
Haven't really dealt with that. I mean, but yeah, it's been,
No, I did.
been
I
pretty,
did.
pretty good.
One thing, are you? Because he said you're gonna have a hometown show maybe in a couple days.
Yeah, we're playing in Lucadia.
Maybe
Street Festival.
maybe get your dad on the bandstand.
He'll be there.
Get him on the bandstand.
Not jamming. but
Not jamming. No,
We do a very set
I'm,
thing.
I'm catching a hang with your pops real soon.
No room for outside influence.
Well, I am on fire right now, man. And Brother Lessman, thank you so much for being part of the show, man. We're gonna have a ball tonight.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
It's the Jake Feinberg Show. See you later.